Praise be to you, Yahuwah my Elohim. Praise be to your Son, Yahushua my Messiah. I come at your feet in the name of your Son. Thank you for the knowledge you pour unto me, and thank you for breaking all the shackle that was bound on my face. Yahuwah, you are the only true living God. Indeed. Thank you for your Yahusha, whom you truly love. You are Elohim, the Elohim of the Yahudim.
Shalom family, this is Pierre Ligi, and you're listening to The Remnant Awakens. I'm glad you're here, whether you're tuning in for the first time or you've been walking this journey with me for a while now. You know, every episode we dig a little deeper. We challenge what we've been taught, and we try to get back to the roots, the real roots of faith. Today, I want to talk about a question that honestly cuts through all the noise, all the religion, all the pretending. It's the question Yahusha himself asked. When the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? That's heavy, right? So let's get into it. So, let's set the scene. In Luke chapter 18, Yahusha tells this parable about a widow. She's got no power, no connections, nothing. But she keeps coming to this judge, who, by the way, doesn't care about Yahuwah or people. She's relentless, just keeps asking for justice. And finally, the judge gives in. Not because he suddenly grew a conscience, but because he's tired of her persistence. Yahusha uses this story to show us something about prayer, about not giving up, but then he drops that question. When the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? It's like, wait, what? Why ask that after a story about persistence? I think he's pointing to something deeper than just getting what you want if you bug Yahuwah enough. It's about the kind of faith that doesn't quit, even when the world is unjust, even when it looks like nobody's listening. That's the context. That's what prompted the question. Now, let's talk about faith. And I mean real faith, not the churchy version that says, just believe and you'll get your blessing. Nah, that's not it. Faith, according to scripture, is trust. It's loyalty. It's obedience. It's like you trust Yahuwah so much that you do what he says, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it costs you. Remember in a previous episode, we talked about Yahuchanan, John chapter 3, verse 16, and how faith is tied to covenant obedience? That's what I'm talking about. Faith isn't just mental agreement. It's action. It's Abraham leaving his home, not knowing where he's going. It's Moshe standing before Pharaoh, even though he stutters. It's Daniel, refusing to bow, even if it means the lion's den. Faith is covenant loyalty. It's not just I believe. It's I obey because I trust. That's the faith Yahusha is looking for. And let's be real, false faith is everywhere. I mean, you can walk into almost any building with a cross on it and hear people talk about faith. But is it the faith Yahusha described? Or is it just wishful thinking or positive vibes or name it and claim it stuff? I'm not trying to be harsh, but we gotta call it what it is. There's a lot of talk, but not a lot of walking. People say they have faith, but when it comes to actually obeying the commandments, keeping the covenant, living set apart, suddenly it's, well, that's legalism, or that's for the Jews. Nah, that's for the remnant. That's for anyone who claims to follow the king. True faith is rare. It's costly, it's not popular, but it's real. And that's what Yahusha is searching for. And you know, Scripture warned us about this. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3 says, "Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first." That's the great apostasy, the mass turning away from truth. We talked about this in a previous episode, how the so-called church fathers introduced all kinds of stuff that wasn't in the Torah, and people just went along with it. That's part of the falling away. People traded covenant faith for tradition, for comfort, for popularity. And now, we're living in a time where most folks don't even know what real faith looks like. It's not just out there in the world. It's in the assemblies, in the pulpits, in the music, everywhere. The falling away is real, and it's happening right now. But listen, all is not lost. There's always a remnant, always. Even when it looks like everyone's gone astray, Yahweh keeps a people for himself. People who refuse to bow to Baal, who won't compromise, who keep the commandments even when it costs them everything. That's you, that's me, that's anyone who says, "I'm gonna follow Yahusha, no matter what." The remnant isn't perfect, but we're persistent. We're like that widow. Maybe we don't have power, maybe we don't have a platform, but we keep coming, we keep crying out, we keep obeying. That's the response. Not to give up, not to blend in, but to stand firm, to keep the faith, the real faith, until the end. So, let's bring it home. This isn't about religion. It's not about looking holy or sounding spiritual or having the right words. It's about real, living, covenant keeping, commandment obeying, kingdom faith. The kind of faith that Yahusha is looking for when he returns. The kind that doesn't quit, doesn't compromise, doesn't get distracted by the noise. That's what matters. That's what lasts. And that's what we're called to. I know it's not easy, but it's worth it. And you're not alone. All right, family? That's it for today. If you're still here, you're part of the remnant. Keep pressing in. Keep seeking truth. Keep walking in faith. I'm Pierre Ligi, your brother from the tribe of Yehuda, and this is The Remnant Awakens. If this message stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video so it reaches more people. Subscribe if you're awakening to truth. And comment below with what stood out to you most. And if you know someone still sleeping, share this episode with them. Until next time, Shalom. See you all on the next episode.
Praise be to you, Yahuwah my Elohim. Praise be to your Son, Yahushua my Messiah. I come at your feet in the name of your Son. Thank you for the knowledge you pour onto me, and thank you for breaking out the shackle that was bound on my face. Yahuwah, you are the only true living God. Indeed. Thank you for your Yahusha, whom you truly love. You are Elohim.